Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week from week 44. Actually, coming to you from New York City this week. So, a reminder for our disclosures: understand that this content is for educational purposes only. I will not be giving any investment advice. This is not tailored to any one individual, and everyone must understand your investment time horizon. Past performance does not guarantee future results or success, and all investments involve risk, including the loss of principal. As always, the following is going to be the agenda that I cover. First, I'm going to go over the news, then provide a market overview of the indices and cover earnings. This week is another week that we have a slew of earnings, and then I'm going to go over the FANG stocks. So, for our news this week, starting with Monday, the first thing we have is going to be aftermarket, and we're going to have the manufacturer PMI on Monday afternoon. So, nothing should be affected during the day for Monday for trading on the US markets. Moving on to Tuesday, we got the employment cost index pre-market on Tuesday the morning at 5:30 a.m. At 7 o'clock, we got consumer confidence, and that should do it for the U.S. markets on Tuesday. For those of you trading forex, understand that the New Zealand dollar has two reports at 2:45 p.m. Moving on to Wednesday, we got non-farm payroll change pre-market at 7 o'clock. We got a manufacturing report, and then we have the JOLTS job opening report at 7 o'clock, 30 minutes into the market open. So pay attention to that on Wednesday. Wednesday also we got an FOMC statement and see what Jerome Powell brings to the table this week, and we got a federal funds rate and a press conference from the Fed. So be cognizant that that's all happening on Wednesday afternoon. Moving on to Thursday, unemployment claims pre-market. Everything else is going to be effective for my forex traders. Is going to be on the British pound. So pay attention to the British pound pre-market. For Friday, we got non-farm payrolls and employment exchange, and we got the unemployment rate. And then just understand pre-market, we're gonna also have things affecting the Canadian dollar. And that's gonna do it for us for news this week. As you can see on the earnings front, we got a lot of companies reporting earnings this week as well, just like last week. I will not be going over each and every company. However, just understand that the companies that I've identified, I will go over the charts here momentarily. Moving into this week's charts, I'm going to start with the SPX as always. As you can see, our level from last week has been violated, and we're into this last level, this line of defense. So for those looking to go long, we have 41.55 to 40.97 on the SPX. And on the supply side, we got 44.40 to 44.66. In the event this zone breaks this week, I'm going to give you the next level that will possibly be reaching. And as you can see, this level has already worked once or twice. Once here, this was the second time. So that's going to be from 40.57 to 40.30. But in the interim, we are currently holding this level. So I will place them both for you this week. So in the event this last level breaks, our next line of defense is going to be the 40.55 to 40.32 on the SPX. Moving on to the Dow. So as you can see, this level for us broke this week. It actually it worked for us. It didn't take us all the way back up to supply. However, the next level on the Dow that I'm monitoring is going to be this level right here, where we actually closed into. So you got 325.48 to 322.66. And if this level doesn't hold, the next level I'm looking at is 319 to 314. Moving on to the Russell. So as you can see, our Russell levels should not have not changed from last week. The following levels I have for you on the demand side is 1647 to 1527, and on the supply side, you got 1822 to 1842. Moving on to the Nasdaq. Our level finally broke on the Nasdaq, and as you can see, this level worked for us once, twice, three times, four times, and it finally broke. Now the next level I'm expecting to hold on the Nasdaq is going to be at 13,518 to 13,227. And that's going to do it for the indices this week. Next, I'm going to go into our earnings plays. So the first company I want to cover for you this week, and this is on Monday morning. Monday morning, McDonald's has earnings pre-market. So on the demand side, I got 238.16 to 230.32 for you. So those of you who want to do a vertical, you can do the 230 by 225. And on the supply side, we got 263.51 to 267.18. So those are your demand and supply zone. And for those of you who want to do a call vertical spread, you can do a 270 by 275. And that's going to be McDonald's, and they have earnings pre-market. Moving on to aftermarket, I'm going to cover Pinterest. So for Pinterest, what I'm looking at is 2213 to 2102 on the demand side and 2654 to 2739. Given the price point of this vehicle, there's probably not going to be any money in the vertical, so you're going to have to go directionally. You can purchase the appropriate calls or puts. Moving on to Tuesday pre-market, we got Pfizer. Pfizer scheduled to report earnings. So the levels I have for you this week is 2824 to 2642. Another asset that is you probably not going to get money for vertical, so you're going to have to go directional. So you can purchase the appropriate calls or puts. And on the supply side, I got 3354 to 3467 for you. Tuesday morning as well. Let's move on to Caterpillar. So for Caterpillar, I got 228.53 to 220.92. Those of you who want to do a spread, you can do the 220 by 215. And on the supply side, I got 268.21 to 275.96. For those of you looking to do a spread, you can do a 275 by 280. Also, Tuesday morning, we got Amgen. So for Amgen, the band zone I have for you is 233.54 by 227.89 on the demand side. You can do a 225 by 220, or you can choose to go directional. And on the supply side, I got 289.21 to 297.17. You can do a 300 by 305 spread. Moving on to Tuesday aftermarket, we have AMD. So this is the level that's been holding for us on AMD. As you can see, it's worked once, twice, three times, and now we closed into this pretty deeply on Friday. So this is going to be a very aggressive trade. So I have another level for you in the event that AMD decides to break this level. So that level is 76.53 to 71.96 on the demand side, and on the supply side, you have 128.78 to 141.08. Those verticals are going to be 140 by 145 and 70 by 65, unless you elect to go directionally. So for Wednesday morning, we have CVS reporting before the market opens. Demand level I have for you this week is 61.74 to 56.49. And on the supply side, you got 80.68 to 83.18. You can choose to do a vertical here, 55 by 50, or 84 or 85 by 90 on the supply side, or you can go directionally. Next company I have for you is Estee Lauder reporting Wednesday morning as well. As you can see, we closed into this level. We have another level right under it, so you're gonna have to pay attention to earnings. If we reach this level, the 133 to 121, You can go down to 112.73 to 103.59. Again, for my aggressive traders, you use the top level. For my conservative traders, you use the bottom level and understand that that's very close to the $100 price point. So you can do a 100 by 95 on the demand side, and on the supply side, you got 239.90 to 250.60, and you can do a 250 by 255 vertical. Moving on to aftermarket on Wednesday. First company I'm going to cover is PayPal. So for PayPal, you got 45.20 to 43.28 on the demand side and 60.54 to 62.75 on the supply side. Next company for Wednesday is Roku. So for Roku, you got 53.55 to 51.41, and on the demand side and on the supply side, you got 65.98 to 68.87. Next company is Qualcomm. So for Qualcomm, I got 103.06 to 101.54 on the demand side and 115.89 to 118.41. Etsy also has earnings after market on Wednesday. You can see we've been holding this level the entire week. I'm not sure if this is going to be breached this week, so pay attention. You got the 67.38 to 60.41 on the demand side, and on the supply side, you got 115.34 to 122.63. Last company I'm going to cover for Wednesday afternoon, we got Airbnb reporting earnings as well. So for Airbnb, you got the 105.94 to 97.76. Understand that this area has already worked, so this is more the aggressive. For my conservative traders, you got the 90.32 to 85.72 on the demand side. And as you can see, the 151.71 to 163.10 has been holding on the supply side. So it's worked once, twice. Just be aware of that. Again, on the supply side, that's 151.71 to 163.10. Moving on to Thursday morning before the market, we got Shopify. So for Shopify, I got 45.49 to 43.50 on the demand side and 56.89 to 59.45 on the supply side. Next company releasing that I'm going to cover for Thursday morning is Lilly. And as you can see, on the demand side, I got 460.51 to 435.43 on the demand side, and on the supply side, I got 607.93 to 629.21. You can do the appropriate verticals or go directional. One of the big FANG stocks is reporting for us Thursday afternoon after market, and that's going to be Apple. We called them right so far on Apple. As you can see, we've been sitting in this area. It came in there on Thursday, and staying in this area around Friday. On the demand side, I got 167.09 for you to 159.73. And on the supply side, we got 190.53, 192.50. I'm gonna put this level back up there just in case Apple has good earnings, but this is the area that we worked on the 60-minute chart for my aggressive trader. Just remember that this level was what brought the market down. Now, if Apple has strong earnings and can take the S&P 500 back up, that'll be great for us this week, and we'll see what happens, and that'll hold our tech and S&P 500 if Apple's can report great earnings and we just hover all week. Another big catalyst this week is going to be what the Fed decides to do. So pay attention to that. Last two companies I'm going to cover for this week is Starbucks. So as you can see, Starbucks has been holding this level, and that level on the demand side is 92.65 to 89.25. If Starbucks decides to have bad earnings and we go down to the next level, that level for you is 85.35 to 82.86 on the demand side. For the supply, the first level I have for you is 112.82 to 115.56. And the last company I'm going to cover is going to be Coin when it comes to earnings this week. So as you can see, this is the level we've been utilizing for almost 2 months now, 3 months. This level has worked, so be very cautious with this level this week, especially because they have earnings on Thursday. But it's worked once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and we closed very deep into this level on Friday. So be aware of that. The next level we have It's going to be 44.08 to 40.75 on the conservative side. So for those of you who are in trades on coin, just be cognizant of probably possibly closing your trades prior to earnings on Thursday. On the supply side, I got 112.42 to 132.98. That's gonna do it for us this week when it comes to earnings. So now covering the FANG stocks, I'm gonna go to Meta. It's gonna be our first candidate this week. So as you can see, our levels have not changed on Meta. I've been reporting the same levels for the last 2 months now. As you can see, the 275.79 to 268.64 is what's holding Meta up. It's worked once, twice, and you can see that we attempted to come to this level a third time and it couldn't, and now we're in the middle of the range. On the supply side, you can understand that this supply zone has worked once, twice, three times. So just understand that these are our levels. They have not changed in the last month, and that's going to be 321.74 to 345.08 on the supply side. I'm not going to go over Apple again as we have already covered it. Next company I'm going to cover is Netflix. Everybody should be out of their trades on Netflix. I don't have any new levels for you since the trade we took down here. This is the level that's still holding 345 to 329 on the demand side. And on the supply side, we have 433.85 to 453.66. Last of the FANG stocks that I'll be covering this week is going to be Google. And as you can see, our level, it didn't reach our level. It kind of got close to there on the supply side, but that level is still 141.66 to 145.15. And I'm not sure if anybody got into this position on Friday, but we closed into our level on Friday on the demand side, and that's 122.83 to 118.17. That's going to do it for us when it comes to the charts. Once again, we have a lot of earnings this week, so pay attention, have a plan. And if anybody has any questions or any symbols they would like me to see, feel free to email me, contact me, and I will get back. As always, here's my contact information. For those of you who are not following me on Facebook and LinkedIn, please do so that you can see the updates that I provide throughout the weeks and as I post trades. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. And those of you who have my contact information, feel free to text me. Next week I will be providing our stats. I apologize this week for not providing them, but I am out of town in New York, and I will have our stats for us next week. Until then, happy trading. Have a great week. Stay profitable. Have a plan.